Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a conversation between Dr. Jordan Peterson and Tony Robbins.
Oh, two big names.
Yeah, two giants in the world of personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And, you sent this in because you're interested in learning how a strong sense of purpose,
Right.
mixed with some really powerful techniques, can help you make real and lasting changes.
Yeah,
So we've got some really interesting things to unpack today,
I bet.
including a study on one of Tony's programs that showed a massive drop in depression symptoms,
Oh, wow.
the surprising connection between bee behavior and human drive,
Yeah, that's interesting.
and even a peek into those legendary 12-hour seminars that Tony's known for.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about those.
They sound intense, right?
Yeah, very intense.
So what I found really interesting about this conversation is it's not just, motivational fluff.
Right.
It's grounded in some serious research. Like, take the clinical trial on Tony's Date with Destiny program.
Okay.
It showed incredible results in treating depression.
Really?
Yeah. So let's break that down a bit.
Oh.
This wasn't just some small study.
Yeah.
This was a randomized controlled trial, right?
Mhm.
Like the gold standard when it comes to research.
Yeah.
And the results were, to put it mildly, impressive.
What kind of impressive are we talking?
Okay, so participants in Tony's program saw their depression severity drop by a huge 83%.
Right.
After just 6 weeks.
6 weeks. That's amazing.
And get this, 93% of them went into complete remission.
That's incredible.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And that's even better than a landmark study at Johns Hopkins
Really?
using psilocybin in therapy.
Oh, wow. So this is big.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's amazing.
So it makes you think, what's happening in this program that's causing such a significant shift?
Yeah, what is it?
And more importantly, can we learn from it even if we're not, jumping into a 6-day seminar?
Right. Yeah.
That's a great question, and it leads us to this key idea that both Tony and Jordan emphasize, and that's the importance of aim.
Aim.
Yeah, they're talking about having a clear sense of purpose,
Gotcha.
this driving force in your life.
Okay.
And they argue that this aim actually shapes how you see the world,
At least.
influencing your thoughts and actions.
It's interesting.
It's almost like putting on a special pair of glasses
Oh, I see.
that filters your whole experience. So it's
Yeah.
not just about setting a goal.
Right.
It's about understanding why that goal matters so deeply to you.
Yeah. The why behind it.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And this reminds me of Tony's distinction between push motivation.
Push motivation.
Yeah, which is all about willpower, and pull motivation,
Pull motivation. Okay.
being drawn towards a compelling future.
I like that.
And he says there's no limit to pull motivation
Oh, interesting.
because it comes from a place of deep personal meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about this distinction?
Well, it's really powerful when you think about it. Push motivation is like trying to force yourself uphill, right?
Yeah.
Relying on just pure willpower.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting and it's not sustainable.
Totally.
But pull motivation,
Yeah.
it's like being effortlessly drawn towards something you really want.
It's like a magnet.
Exactly. It taps into a totally different source of energy.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's like when I was finishing my degree, I was working full-time, completely burnt out.
I feel that.
But the thought of finally graduating,
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of accomplishment
Yeah.
and the doors it would open, that's what kept me going.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It was like this magnet pulling me towards the finish line.
I love that analogy.
It's so true.
Yeah,
And that's a perfect example of how pull motivation works.
absolutely.
It's not about forcing yourself. It's about aligning yourself
Yes.
with a future that you're genuinely excited about.
I love it.
Okay, so we have this clear aim, this burning desire that's pulling us forward.
Right.
But how do we actually take action?
Yeah, that's the question.
So Jordan Peterson, he has this framework for lasting change
Okay.
that really resonated with me.
I'm curious.
He says that when you specify a clean aim,
Mm-hmm.
the path forward reveals itself.
Oh, interesting.
Obstacles become challenges to overcome,
Okay.
and progress fuels positive emotions.
So it's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly, creating this upward spiral.
I like that.
Do you see any limitations to this framework?
Well, it is a really solid framework, but I think it's important to acknowledge that specifying a clear aim isn't always easy.
Right.
Sometimes our aims are complex or even conflicting.
Yeah, that's true.
And even when we have a clear aim, we might need to adjust it along the way as we, learn and grow.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's not about being rigid.
Right.
It's about having a direction and being open to those adjustments along the way. Yeah, totally.
And, Tony Robbins adds a really crucial element to Peterson's framework.
Oh, what's that?
He emphasizes the need for strategy and execution alongside that compelling aim.
Oh, so it's not enough to just have the vision.
No, not at all.
You need a plan.
Exactly. You need a plan to make it a reality.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Tony talks about something he calls E-cubing.
E-cubing.
Yeah. Entertaining, educating, and empowering people through experience.
Oh, wow. I like that.
So he says knowledge alone isn't enough.
Right.
You need to feel the change in your gut to really embody it.
It's like an embodied experience.
Exactly. What do you think he means by that?
I think he means going beyond just the intellectual understanding of an idea.
Yeah.
And actually experiencing it in a really, visceral way.
Ooh, I like that.
Think about learning to ride a bike. You could read all the books in the world about cycling.
Right.
But until you get on that bike and feel the wind in your hair, the wobbly balance, the exhilaration of movement,
Yeah.
you haven't really learned to ride.
That's such a good example.
Yeah.
So it's about engaging all of our senses, our emotions, our entire being
Yes.
in the process of change.
Totally.
It's not just about thinking, it's about feeling and doing.
Exactly.
And this is probably why Tony's seminars are so unique.
Oh, how so?
They're designed to be immersive experiences,
Okay.
using music, movement, and high energy to really shift people's emotional states and open them up to new possibilities.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So he's creating an environment where people can break through their intellectual barriers and experience transformation on a much deeper level.
It's like a rock concert meets a therapy session.
I love it.
He's got people jumping and dancing.
Oh, wow.
Engaging in exercises that challenge their perceptions and behaviors, all while delivering, these powerful insights about personal growth.
It's amazing.
Do you think this approach could be overwhelming?
Yeah.
Or even manipulative for some people?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Not everyone thrives in that kind of high-energy environment.
Right.
And it's important to remember that while these techniques can be so effective for some, they're not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Totally agree. It's important to be discerning and find what works best for you.
Absolutely.
And speaking of techniques, Tony talks about the power of priming.
Priming.
Yeah, setting the stage for transformation.
Oh, interesting.
And he uses priming not only in his seminars, but also in his own personal life.
Oh, wow.
He even shared this fascinating experiment about how holding a hot versus iced coffee can influence how we perceive others.
No way.
Just the temperature of the drink can prime our brains.
That's crazy.
To interpret information differently.
Wow, that is fascinating.
It's wild, right? So that's a great example of how subtle environmental cues can have a big impact on our perceptions and behaviors.
Absolutely.
And it highlights the potential of consciously priming our minds and bodies for success.
I like it.
Absolutely. So Tony's daily routine, it includes gratitude exercises, visualization, and blessings.
Oh, that's great.
All designed to cultivate this positive and empowered mental and emotional state.
Yeah.
But is there a risk of becoming too focused on positivity?
I see what you mean.
And ignoring or suppressing negative emotions?
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
It's important to strike a balance.
Totally.
While cultivating positivity is essential, we also need to acknowledge and process our negative emotions.
Right.
Suppression can lead to all sorts of problems down the road.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So it's about acknowledging the full spectrum of human emotion.
Yes.
Both the light and the shadow.
I like that.
And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of Tony's approach, the use of mirror neurons and nonverbal communication to build rapport and trust.
Yeah.
So he talks about mirroring body language to create this unconscious connection and observing these subtle cues in the audience to adapt his communication style.
It's like he's reading people.
Exactly.
Wow.
This is where his background as a master communicator really shines.
Yeah, he's like a conductor, orchestrating the energy and emotions of the entire room.
That's a great way to put it.
It's not just about, mimicking movements.
Right.
It's about a much deeper understanding of the other person's world, their values, their beliefs, their emotional state.
Like really seeing them.
Exactly. It's about creating a genuine connection.
Okay.
That paves the way for, influence and transformation.
He gave this great example about shaking someone's hand
Oh, yeah.
and matching their tempo to instantly build rapport.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like saying, I see you, I get you, without actually saying a word.
It's powerful.
Do you think these techniques can be learned, or are some people just like natural communicators?
I think anyone can improve their communication skills.
Really?
With practice and awareness.
Okay.
Of course, some people might be more naturally attuned to those nonverbal cues,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean others can't develop them.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
So Tony takes this mirroring concept even further
Oh, how so?
by observing patterns in the audience,
Okay.
identifying those who seem to trigger shifts in the group's energy,
Interesting.
and by connecting with these key individuals,
Yeah.
he's able to amplify the impact of his message.
It's like he's working with the collective energy of the room,
Exactly.
not just individual people.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. It is.
He stresses the importance of understanding
Yes.
what already influences people.
Right.
He says, and I quote, "If you want to influence another person, you have to know what already influences them."
That's a good one.
So it's not about imposing your will, but rather tapping into their existing motivations and desires.
I like that.
You know, that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
I've definitely had times where I tried to convince someone to do something I thought was best for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it totally backfired because I wasn't seeing things from their perspective.
Right. Yeah.
It's a good reminder that we need to meet people where they are,
Yes.
not where we want them to be.
Absolutely.
So Tony also highlights the difference between how men and women process emotions and communicate their needs.
Oh, that's interesting.
He suggests that men often jump to solutions too quickly
Yeah.
when women are really just seeking connection and empathy.
That's a good point.
It's a sensitive topic,
Yeah.
but I appreciate his willingness to address these communication differences.
Right.
Right on.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too. It's refreshing to hear him talk so openly about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But isn't there a risk of overgeneralizing?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Aren't there exceptions to every rule?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's crucial to remember that these are general tendencies,
Okay.
not hard and fast rules.
Right.
Every individual is unique.
Of course.
And we shouldn't box people in based on their gender.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Tony does acknowledge that these communication patterns are rooted in biology.
Yeah.
And they have played a role in our survival as a species.
Right.
He even uses this beautiful analogy of a dance
Oh, I like that.
to describe the dynamic interplay between masculine and feminine energies.
That's a good one.
It's a reminder that these differences, when understood and appreciated, can actually be strengths,
Yes.
not weaknesses.
I love that perspective.
Absolutely. It's about finding that sweet spot where those energies complement each other.
Yeah, totally.
And enhance each other.
Absolutely.
And speaking of dance, Tony brings that same energy and fluidity to his seminars.
Oh, yeah. He's high energy.
He emphasizes movement, music, and creating an atmosphere of celebration and joy.
It sounds fun.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about passively absorbing information.
Right,
It's
right.
about actively engaging your whole self in the process.
Embodiment.
Exactly.
I like it.
So he even had to get creative during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, of course.
When large gatherings were impossible.
Right.
He built this amazing studio
Wow.
and found new ways to connect with people virtually,
Oh, cool.
maintaining that high-energy immersive experience even through a screen.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it shows his dedication to reaching people and delivering his message,
Yeah.
no matter the obstacles.
That's inspiring.
And it actually led to him creating this free online seminar that has reached millions of people worldwide.
That's incredible.
I know, right?
Wow.
So he shared this powerful story about a man who was bedridden, weighing over 700 pounds,
Oh, my goodness.
and attending the seminar from his bedroom.
Wow.
It's a reminder that transformation is possible
Yeah.
for anyone, regardless of their
No,
circumstance.
it's so powerful.
It's so inspiring.
Absolutely.
So Tony emphasizes that it all starts with recognizing the call to adventure
Oh.
in our own lives.
Yeah.
Those moments of crisis, challenge, or just discontent
Mm-hmm.
that signal a need for change.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the hero's journey and facing our internal dragons.
I like that.
So he lays out this 3-step process for navigating this journey.
Okay, what are they?
First, awakening desire,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out what you truly want,
Right.
and finding those deep-seated reasons that'll fuel your drive.
Yeah, that's important.
Second, facing the truth.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is, right? Honestly, assessing those obstacles that have held you back in the past,
Right.
fears, limiting beliefs, bad habits, missing skills, you have to be real with yourself.
Totally.
And third, developing a concrete strategy and taking action.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
And Tony emphasizes the need for both philosophy and strategy.
Interesting.
You can't just have a vision. You need a plan to make it happen.
Yeah. How I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just leave you hanging with these concepts.
Okay.
He actually gives practical examples from financial strategies to relationship advice.
Oh, wow.
He even shares specific techniques for priming your mind and body for success.
Like what?
Like his 10-minute morning routine.
Okay.
With gratitude exercises, blessings, and visualizations.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's like he's handing us a toolkit.
Exactly.
For rewiring our perceptions, our behaviors, and even our biochemistry.
To create a life that truly aligns with our values and desires.
That's powerful stuff.
But is it really that simple?
Right.
Can a few techniques really change everything?
Well, it's not about simplicity.
Okay.
It's about consistent effort and practice.
Right.
Tony stresses that it's not just about understanding these concepts intellectually, but rather embedding them in our nervous system. So they become second nature.
Okay.
Like learning to ride a bike. At first, it's awkward and challenging.
Yeah.
But with practice, it becomes automatic.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So it's about developing those mental and emotional muscles through repetition and integrating these practices into our daily lives.
I like that.
Do you think this kind of personal development work can ever become too self-focused?
Oh, that's interesting.
Can it lead to neglecting our responsibilities to others or our community?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I think it's a balance we all have to find.
Right.
It's important to remember that personal growth isn't about becoming self-absorbed.
Yeah.
It's about becoming the best version of ourselves.
Okay.
So that we can contribute more effectively to the world around us.
It's about expanding our capacity for love, compassion, and service.
Exactly.
And Tony actually talks about the importance of understanding the different modes of the brain.
Oh, like visual, auditory, and kinesthetic.
Yes.
Right.
And how those preferences influence our communication styles and how we interact with the world.
It makes sense.
And he even talks about adjusting his language and tempo.
Oh, wow.
Based on observing those subtle cues in the audience.
That's amazing.
Making sure his message resonates with each person on a deeper level.
He's like a chameleon.
Yeah, it's like he's speaking multiple languages at the same time.
Wow.
Tailoring his communication to meet the unique needs of everyone in the room.
That's a real skill.
It is. It is.
It's fascinating.
It's a reminder that communication is a two-way street. And being a good listener is just as important as being a good speaker.
Yeah, it really highlights the importance of not only understanding our own communication style, but also being able to recognize and adapt to the styles of others. Tony's whole approach is about, empowering people to take control of their lives, to become the heroes of their own stories. He believes everyone has that potential for greatness, and that by harnessing the power of aim, drive, and strategic action, we can create incredible transformations. But some people might say, this is all a bit too individualistic. Where does our responsibility to others fit in?
That's a valid point, and I think Tony would agree that personal growth shouldn't happen in a vacuum. He believes that when we align our desires with something bigger than ourselves, something that benefits, our loved ones, our community, or even humanity as a whole, we tap into this wellspring of energy and motivation that's truly unstoppable. It reminds me of that quote from Viktor Frankl. Man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life, and not a secondary rationalization of instinctual drives. This meaning is unique and specific in that it must be individually and personally discovered and acted upon.
Exactly. It's about finding that unique spark that ignites your soul, that gives you a reason to get out of bed every morning, even when things are tough.
And Tony's own life is a testament to that. He's dedicated his career to empowering others, helping them discover their potential and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. He talks about the importance of service, using our gifts and talents to make a positive impact on the world.
He even brings this philosophy into his business ventures, seeking out opportunities that not only generate financial returns, but also create value for others. He shared an example of investing in private equity, a strategy typically reserved for, the ultra-wealthy, and finding ways to make it accessible to a wider audience.
That's amazing. It's like he's democratizing access to wealth and opportunity, empowering people to take control of their financial futures. And he doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. He provides concrete strategies and resources, guiding people through, the complexities of investing and helping them make informed decisions.
He's a true advocate for financial literacy, believing that everyone should have the knowledge and tools to build a secure and prosperous future.
So, thinking about all of this, what's your call to adventure right now? What's that one thing that keeps whispering to you, hinting at a life more aligned with your true purpose? What are those internal dragons you need to face to move forward?
This deep dive has given us a lot to think about. A clear aim fueled by powerful drive, supported by strategic action and amplified by conscious priming. These are the building blocks of extraordinary transformation.
It's like we're upgrading our operating system, installing new software that allows us to function at a higher level. And it's not just about personal gain, it's about becoming a force for good in the world.
It's about using our newfound strength and clarity to make a positive impact, to leave the world a little bit better than we found it.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to revisit my own goals and see how I can incorporate some of these techniques into my life. Just imagine what your life could look like if you fully embraced the power of aim and drive. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking those aha moments that lead to real and lasting change.